Assalamu alaikum dear students. Now today we will study the maxillary second molar. As you all know, maxillary second molar is the seventh tooth from the midline, and it has a mesial contact with maxillary first molar and a distal contact with the third molar when the third molar erupts. ठीक है. And now we will study the maxillary second molar as it is a non-succedaneous tooth, as you all know. Now we will study the chronology of the maxillary second molar. So here we go. Initiation of calcification occurs 2.5 to 3 years of age, and the enamel completion takes place 7 to 8 years of age. The eruption of the maxillary second molar occurs 12 to 13 years of the age, and it is the second last tooth to erupt in the oral cavity. Before third molar, second molar is the second last tooth, and after 4 to 5 years, the third molar erupts. And the root completion takes place 2 to 3 years after the eruption of the maxillary second molar. Now, what are the general consideration of this tooth? It is occlusogingivally shorter than the maxillary first molar. Occlusogingivally, it is shorter. As you can see, this is the occlusogingival dimension. It is shorter than the maxillary first molar, and the mesiodistal dimension is same. The buccolingual dimension is same as of the maxillary first molar, but the occlusogingival dimension is shorter. And it is a bit narrower mesiodistally as compared to the mesiodistal dimension जो इसकी होती है जो वो that is shorter than that of maxillary first molar. So here are different views in this slide. As you can see, this is the buccal view. I will write it as a B. So in the buccal aspect, we can see that it is narrower occlusogingivally and both mesiodistally than the maxillary first molar. And but the root dimension is more or less same as that of maxillary first molar. Okay. Now what we can see on the buccal aspect is the buccal groove. Here it is a buccal groove. We can see both the mesial outline and the distal outline. This is the distal outline. So the two cusps, the mesiobuccal cusp and the distobuccal cusp, is obvious on this aspect. This is the mesiobuccal cusp, which is larger as compared to the distobuccal cusp. This is the mesiobuccal cusp and this is the distobuccal cusp. Okay. And there are the buccal groove is a bit distally present due to the smaller size of this distobuccal cusp. Okay. And this distobuccal is smaller and it is a bit sharper than that of the mesiobuccal cusp, right? And there is a cervical line present which shows a small ditch in the bifurcation area. And we can see the mesial outline and the distal outline, which are more or less convex, and it has a height of contour in the gingival third area. Height of contour in the gingival third area. The other dimension are the same as of the maxillary first molar, like the contact area is same, which is at the junction of occlusal and middle third. Here it is also at the junction of occlusal and middle third contact area. ठीक है. बाकी सारी dimension is there are few differences in which the distobuccal cusp smaller size is present, height of contour at the cervical third area is present. Yes, we can see a small part of this distolingual cusp, a small part of this distolingual cusp, and a bit of distal marginal ridge can be seen from this aspect. This is distolingual cusp, can be seen from this aspect because of the smaller size of this distobuccal cusp, right? This was all about the buccal view. Now we will move towards the lingual view. This is the lingual view. I will mark it as an L. Okay. Now on the lingual view, what we can see is the distolingual cusp, which is the smallest of all cusps, and the mesiolingual cusp, which is the largest of all cusps, the mesiolingual cusp. And here we can see a lingual groove is present, which is over toward the distal side, and so we call it as a distolingual groove. क्या हम इसको कहते हैं? This is a distolingual groove. Distolingual groove on the lingual side, and there is no cusp of cerebelli present. No cusp of cerebelli is present on the lingual aspect of this maxillary second molar. The cervical lines show very less curvature over the lingual surface, and there is height of contour present in the middle third. Here is height of contour in middle third of the lingual aspect. The other dimension are same as of that maxillary first molar, more convex surface over the lingual surface is more convex and having more convex outlines over the linguals. We can see the roots over here on the buccal aspect. We can see the three roots: the mesiobuccal root, the distobuccal root, and the palatal. This is the palatal root or lingual root. ठीक है, इसको हम कहीं पे lingual कहा लिखा हुआ है, कहीं पे palatal लिखा हुआ है. So this is the palatal root on the lingual aspect. We can also we also see we are also able to see the both of these the three of these roots, same roots can be seen from the lingual aspect. ठीक है, distobuccal root and the mesiobuccal root. So there is no cusp of cerebelli present, and the other dimensions distolingual groove is present, and there is more convex surface over the lingual. One other thing I want to mention, this distolingual groove may not be present in this is the distolingual groove there, that could be absent in many like it extend up to the occlusal surface, but it may not extend over the lingual surface like this. So there are specimen tricuspid there are some specimen in which this distolingual groove does not extend over the lingual surface of the maxillary second molar. So this was all about the buccal and lingual surface of the maxillary second molar. I hope you all understand it. And now we will move towards the proximal aspects of this maxillary second molar. So now we will study the proximal aspect, that is the mesial aspect and the distal aspect. The mesial and distal aspect, as you can see, this is the mesial aspect and this is the distal aspect. Both the surfaces are almost rhomboidal in shape, and we can see the more buccolingual dimension on the mesial aspect. That is same as of that of the buccolingual dimension is same as that of the maxillary first molar, but the mesiodistal dimension is a bit narrower, as I have told you on the buccal aspect. So here we can see it has the same outlines, the buccal outline and the lingual outline. This was the lingual outline, and the buccal outline, which is same as that of the maxillary first molar, and the contact area is same, that is at the junction of occlusal and middle third, this contact area, and it is a bit larger in size as that of maxillary first molar, as it is in contact with the maxillary first molar, जबकि वहां पर maxillary first molar was in contact on its mesial aspect. उसका contact किसके साथ था? That was the maxillary second premolar. ठीक है. So the contact area over here is a bit larger than that of the maxillary first molar. ठीक है? And there is a we can hardly see any cervical flattening here. Here the cervical flattening is hardly observed, that as it is more pronounced in the maxillary first molar. ठीक है? And the cervical line hardly shows the curvature on the proximal aspect. Here we cannot see a prominent curve in the cervical line, and it is irregular or almost straighter on the proximal aspects. So we can see the cusps present on the mesial aspect is the mesiobuccal cusp and the mesiolingual cusp. This is the mesiolingual cusp and the mesiobuccal cusp. Mesiolingual cusp, as I have told you, it is the largest of all, and there we can hardly see the other cusps from this view. Okay, now we will come towards the distal surface. Distal surface a bit shorter than the mesial aspect. The same, it shows hardly any curvature in the cervical line. It has the same outlines, buccal outline and the lingual outline. And there is no contact area. No contact area will be present till the third molar erupts. अगर third molar erupt करेगा तो contact area present होगा. Otherwise यहाँ पर contact area distal में नहीं होगा. It is almost convex surface buccolingually on the distal aspect. ठीक है? And there is, we can see there is a little smaller distolingual cusp, so we can see the other cusp from